Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another TNC Sports podcast. As always, I'm Logan Cross,
I'm Baye Troy.
and today we got an interesting episode, man. I believe this is the 15th podcast, so it should be a good one, bro. I'm excited. Before we get into anything, I do want to say, if you stick with the channel. Recently, I'd post the podcast, and then after 2 hours, 3 hours after, I would post videos of shorter topics, so you don't have to watch the whole podcast. So you can just get the little clip of what you want. But I'm gonna keep doing that until I go back to college, and if I have time while I'm at Old Dominion, I'm gonna keep doing it. But I'm not sure if I will, so we'll see how that works out. But I don't think I'll be able to do that while I go back to college. But once I'm done with college for the semester, I'll get back to doing it. Just stick with me there. Anyways, let's get right to the NBA, as we always do. There's been some surprising teams, Faya, that have came out, the first week and, have a good record, such as the Magic and the Cavs. They're the number 1 and number 2 seed in the East right now. And then the 3rd seed in the West is the Sacramento Kings, who beat the Nuggets twice. But hey, you think these teams can keep it up? And, what teams do you think won't? What teams do you think will?
I think the Kings will, because I think the Kings are an underrated team that no one really talks about, but they always had a a young core and a great team as a whole. And I think they're going to be slept on. I think they're really going to make the playoffs this year and honestly make a deep a playoff push.
Yeah, I like that answer. But the team I think will keep up with it, I think the Cavs are going to keep up with it, honestly. I know Kevin Love is out 3 to 4 weeks with a calf strain, but Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, which their little nickname is Sexland, if you didn't hear about that one, they've been balling. Darius Garland's definitely come out in his second year and really picked it up. Drummond leads the league in rebounds. He's also doing his thing. And when they get Kevin Love back, it'll just be better. I know they beat a solid team. I'm not sure. I know they beat at least 2 good teams. But they look good and they're exciting. They also got the rookie Okoro from Auburn. So I'm excited to watch them. I also do think the Kings, I love De'Aaron Fox. And the guard they drafted from Iowa State, I'm blanking on his name, Halburn, I think, or something like that. He's playing really well. He's shooting really well from the field. I know his jump shot was questionable coming into the league, but, he looks really good. Magic, I don't know. They played the Wizards twice, so we'll see. Markelle Fultz has picked it up. I do want to mention that. Speaking of the Wizards, we have not gone off to a good start, man. It's been real frustrating to watch. I've watched every game. Yes, Rui Hachimura has been out, and he's coming back tonight. But man, it's really just been really frustrating to watch, bro. We've been winning most of the games, except for the 4th game, Bristol Bulls. They kind of blew us out in the end. But it's really been frustrating, man. Have you noticed anything that the Wizards need to improve on, or why they're in a little slump coming out?
I think they need more on the rebounding spectrum, because I believe Bradley Beal, I saw 2 nights ago, he wasn't really shooting that well, but I mean it didn't really matter for him. He still had 20 something points. I mean, it didn't really matter for him. I think Westbrook is doing his job. I think you kind of need more players to have 17, 20-point games, honestly. That's what I think. I really put point of view at it. And then I saw a highlight where Thomas Bryant dunked the ball in an opponent's hoop. Honestly, what was your what was your viewpoint on that? Him dunking a ball in the opponent's basket for 2 points.
Dude, when that's when that happened, bro, I was literally dude, oh my god, that described our season through the first 4 games. And I'm hearing the announcers say oh, they don't want it to be like last year, because last year we were terrible. Dude, I don't know. I really hope we don't fall into this thing and we, kind of tank again. I don't know. Russ is playing. He played better last night, or not last night, 2 nights ago, because he hadn't been shooting great. And then Beal had that one-off game, but other than that, he's been putting up good numbers. But I'm just excited to get Rui back. I think Rui will be that, that 16 to 20-point scorer that you're talking about that we really needed. And as far as Thomas Bryant, I mean, he's playing solid basketball. He should be getting more rebounds, but I mean, Russell Westbrook's averaging let me see, he's averaging 13.7 rebounds. So, but I mean, we shouldn't be relying on a guard to get rebounds.
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant should be chipping in a little bit, but hopefully, next week I'll be talking good about the Wizards. I don't know I know we play the Bulls tonight. Hopefully we have a somewhat easy schedule so we can pick up the pace and get the momentum going. All right, and the Celtics Raptors also, they gave a call to Houston and kind of wanted to hear out what they would have to give up for Harden. Do you think these teams should pursue Harden considering all the things that are going on? Yes, Harden's putting up 39 a game. He's also averaging 12 and a half assists. Do you think it'd be worth the risk to give up some players just to get Harden to, improve your team?
I wouldn't, because I'm gonna go for both Boston and Toronto. Like for Boston, I think you've seen like, the trade packages for Harden would be trading Jaylen Brown, and you just saw him put up 42 points last night. And it's like, would you really want to give up a young core that could be there for a long time and have no problems, and also like always do what he's told? But on the Toronto spectrum, I know that the Rockets want Siakam. I know that's who they want. But I wouldn't trade my young core for a dude that I know that, if he's not happy, he'll act a fool, or he won't be there long term because he's been already in the league for 10, 11 years. So it's like, there's really no point of trading a young player that's very, very good to a dude that is lazy and always wants a franchise to be his franchise and no one else's.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you with the Boston Celtics. I would not trade, especially if they wanted Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. But as far as the Raptors, I would consider it. Siakam, yes, he's a very young, high potential player, but he's had moments where he's looked very, very rough. But I mean, granted, he has had good moments like the NBA Finals where he played very well. But I would consider trading Pascal Siakam and maybe like, a couple bench players. But that's the thing about Toronto. They're built around their depth. So I wouldn't be too sure. It would have to be the right trade. I would maybe like one or two bench players because, I don't know, they probably wouldn't trade Lowry or Van Vliet since they just signed Van Vliet. And, Lowry's kind of the Toronto, loved guy. So if any of those two teams, I would say the Raptors. But honestly, I would hold out. And that's from me personally.
In fact, yeah.
The next thing I want to talk about is Grizzlies point guard and rookie of the year last year, Ja Morant, went down with a grade 2 ankle sprain. It looked pretty bad. He jumped super high, fouled, I forget the dude's name on a jump shot, landed on his foot on the way down, and he was hobbling all over the court. Had to get taken off on a wheelchair. Man, it looks bad. As a man that's gone through a bunch of ankle sprains and, ankle problems, I know how it feels. It's rough. You just got to, train the muscles and get back to it. I mean, I'm not an NBA player, but, I've had my fair share of ankle injuries. Fahad, you know that. Yes. But anyways, how do you think this is going to affect, the Grizzlies? I know that they got blown out last night, but for 3 to 5 weeks during the main part of the season, how do you think this is going to affect them?
I think it's going to affect them like a lot because they already out Ja. They're already out. What's that? When a power forward they have too.
Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson's out as well. He's not playing right now, and all they have is a young core that really doesn't know what to do. I mean, they really have like the leadership of Ja and the whole team, but I think they're gonna go downhill from here, and I think they're gonna get a top draft pick to play with Ja next season.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I mean, that's not always a bad thing because I mean, yes, they could have made the playoffs, but they wouldn't have made it far. And now they're going to, especially with the competition this year, they're going to slide down and, prepare for the future, which is good. Never a bad thing. I'm sure, obviously all the players want to win now, but it's what's best for the future for them to tank anyway, considering, literally the top 9 teams in the West are great teams. So I wouldn't be too mad. Just hopefully he can recover from the ankle injury. I know a lot of people are giving their prayers. A lot of people compare him to like a young Derrick Rose and how they want him to because sometimes the way he lands is scary and remind them of Derrick Rose. So hopefully he can protect himself a little better because he elevated on that super high, and he just got to be a little more careful.
Exactly.
The next thing I just wanted to mention, Becky Hammon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. She was
Yeah,
the
sure.
Spurs assistant coach. Popovich got ejected. She acted as a head coach for the night. She's the first woman to ever do that. Just wanted to give her props. First of many to come. Congratulations. And the next thing I want to talk about, this is for me. Curry has become the last 1.5 games has really picked up his play. You saw the game winner versus Chicago. He didn't hit it, but Damian Lee hit it. They used Curry as a distraction on that play. But he really picked it up in that fourth quarter. In the second half, I believe he had like 23, 24 points. And then he had 31 the other night versus the Pistons, which he shot well on. So that was just awesome to see from me. And I'm interested to see if he could keep this up. I know they play Portland on Friday, I want to say. So that should be a fun matchup, Damian Lillard versus Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Now I want to go through like stat leaders for points per game, assists per game, and rebounds per game. And I want you to, say if there's any ones that surprise you. Actually, how about you guess? I want you to guess the top 3 points per game, top 3 assists per game, top 3 rebounds per game right now. What do you think points per game?
Points per game. Number 1, I'm gonna go with Harden automatically. I'm gonna go with Harden. Number 2, I'm gonna probably go with Trae Young. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Trae Young number 2. And then number 3, I'm gonna have to go probably. I was probably gonna go with Zion or Ja, honestly. Like before, like Ja got hurt.
Hey, you were 2 out of 3. Harden at 1, Trae Young at 2, and Bradley Beal was number 3.
Okay.
My guy, even though we're 0-4, shout out 5 for the jersey. Even though we're 0-4, sexy jersey too. Oh my God. Even though we're 0-4, putting up points. Hopefully we can translate that to wins. But what are you thinking for assists per game?
Assists, I'm gonna go Westbrook number 3.
All right.
I'm gonna go Ja number 2. I think I'm gonna have to go with probably Kyrie at 1.
Ooh. The number 1 is Jokic. He's averaging 13.5 assists right now.
Jesus.
I know. Number 2 is Westbrook. He's averaging 12.7. Number 3 is Harden. Now, what do you think about rebounds?
I know number 1 is Andre Drummond.
As always.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with Jokic number 2. I'm gonna go Jokic 2, and then I'm gonna go Westbrook 3.
Hey, you were once again 2 out of 3. Drummond obviously first. Number 2 is actually Rudy Gobert, and then number 3 was Russell Westbrook. Drummond's averaging 15.3, Gobert's averaging 14.3, and Russ is averaging 13.7. So hey, you were close. I like that. You were real close on all of them. You got 5 out of 9 total. So that's good. That's a good number. And those. I'm sure the players you listed were barely outside the top 3. So I wouldn't be too mad with that. But now, hey, NBA. There wasn't too much to talk about the NBA, but let's talk about football. We had a big week of the NFL. Especially from our teams. I know. I'll let you talk about Seattle first, and then I gotta go on my team. But how was your take on the Seattle big win versus the Rams this weekend? 20-9, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
20-9, and you clinched your division with that win. So take me through how that came about.
I think that game was. I think it was a redemption for us because people really didn't think we could beat the Rams. People thought that Russell Wilson was going to choke again and really not play. But I believe our offensive coordinator probably looked at it at a different viewpoint. Like, how like Metcalf was guarded by Ramsey the whole game. Like, he really wanted to incorporate Metcalf on Sunday for us to really try to win. Try to like win the NFC West division, and he did that. I mean, he amazingly did that. He got him involved. Lockett got involved. Carson got involved. They got the game-winning touchdown by Hollister. And I mean, our defense stepped up as well. I mean, Jared Goff did not play his best at all. Like, he had like probably the 2 worst games of the season back to back. And I'm just glad we can get this division win, so we can get like at least try to get the number 1 seed in the NFC to try to get the first round bye.
I mean, yeah, that was a great win for you guys. Your defense looked pretty solid out there, only allowing the Rams 9 points. When did Jared Goff get hurt in that game though?
He got hurt in the third at that like 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Okay, yeah, then your defense really stood up for 3/4 of the game, so can't be mad at that. Really helped you guys get to a win. I want to say Seattle's put up 20 points in like 3 straight weeks. Y'all put up 20
I
against
know.
us. Yeah, I mean, your offense might have to put up a little bit more in the playoffs, but hey, I mean, obviously Russ is capable of doing that, and you got the job done this weekend for a big win. Now let me talk about Washington. Man, that was a disappointing game, and I'm gonna really try not to go off on Haskins because I know he's had a rough week. With the media and with everything going on. But I hate to say it, he is the only reason we lost that game. Our defense played phenomenal. Really kept us in the game, literally the whole game. At first they were a little shaky, but they held. I think they didn't score in the second half because I believe it was 20-0 or 20-3 at halftime. But yeah, Haskins, I was getting so frustrated. There are plays out there that if you put me in the game, I would make those plays. I told Fry this. I think I could have done a better job than Haskins did that game. It was just embarrassing to see. I said this before. Haskins can look like a leader on the field, but off the field, he's nowhere near a leader. He's going to strip clubs. He's breaking protocol. He's not putting in the work. He's not prepared for these situations, and it's really frustrating to see. Yes, it's sad that he missed his opportunity, but I mean, I was more frustrated at the time, so I was happy we released him. Obviously, I'm wishing the best for him in the future, but who knows if he'll get another shot? We'll see. But let's talk about like other parts of the game. Taylor Heinicke went in. He played very well. Old Dominion native. Well, I'm wearing a Gators jacket, but I go to Old Dominion, so Old Dominion native. He looks solid. So if Alex Smith is out next week, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling because he was only in for like 2.5, 3 possessions. Yes, he looked very good, but I want to see if he could do that for the whole game. Obviously, I'd be way more comfortable if Alex Smith went in there and kind of, did his own thing. But I'm at least more confident in Heinicke than I was in Haskins. So that should be an interesting game. This week versus Philly on Sunday night. They flexed the game to Sunday night. It's a big game. We'll talk about the playoff scenarios, later on. But Fad, what'd you take about that Washington game?
I saw the first half of the game and I was disappointed. I was disappointed that Haskins, this was his last shot to really make the team really want him, but he had 2 interceptions and a fumble. And that's really disappointing me because you already had McLaurin out. You had Antonio Gibson back. All you had to do was really run the ball because Panthers' run defense is not that good. You could have literally just ran it to Gibson the whole game. I think you would have at least had great game. You have really versatile players, McKissick, Inman. You have Logan Thomas, one of the best interior tight ends in the league. You have a great team. It's just your quarterback just could not deliver, and I just was very disappointed about that game.
Yeah, and trust me, it was very frustrating to watch the whole thing. I was close to turning it off. I honestly thought we should have put Heinicke in at halftime, but we waited to put him in until about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Today, hopefully we can get it done this week. I haven't even been nervous for a Washington game this whole year. I told you this just before we started. I was not nervous for a Washington game this whole year until this last week. And I was, a little bit nervous. I wasn't too mad. But this week, I think I'm going to be pretty nervous because this is for a playoff spot. And I wasn't even expecting it, considering, our record. But hopefully we can get in and we'll see how that goes. We'll talk a little bit more about it later when we talk about the playoff scenarios. Next thing is the Cowboys eliminated the Eagles from the playoffs officially, which, hopefully that means the Eagles will, cut some slack for us next week. We'll see about that. And then the Packers destroyed the Titans, which, in my opinion, secured Aaron Rodgers the MVP for this year. Sorry, Russell Wilson. Sorry, Mahomes. What's your take on how scary do the Packers look going into the playoffs?
Honestly, I think they don't really – okay, I know everybody going to come back at me and say blah, 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 but I really think I think you can contain them. I honestly really do. I really think you can contain them. if you have a team with a good corner and good linebackers, I think you could stop Green Bay because Green Bay, all they do is go to Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon or like um, Alan Lazard. That's really all they really do. Because, like, honestly, you could think if you put like a Jalen Ramsey on Adams, he would have like 3 or 4 catches in the game. That's it. He would not have any touchdowns. And if you put Aaron Donald on Aaron Jones or Aaron Rodgers, that team would not maneuver as good as they are.
So you're saying the Rams are their kryptonite?
And okay, so with the Packers though, the Packers have a lot of kryptonites. They just need the right ones because like with like the Buccaneers, they got whooped by Buccaneers. Aaron Rodgers had 2 picks in the first quarter. He got sacked 10 times. And I just believe if you get a team with a good defensive core, Packers will not win.
It's a solid point. The Packers, their defense is kind of mediocre. So if you can hold their offense, there's a good chance you'll win. And now, Aaron Rodgers, there's that one game versus Tampa Bay. But other than that, he's been rock solid. I'm not sure, I know they play the Bears twice. They usually have a good defense. But I don't know. Their offense is clicking right now. I personally like the Packers, so I'm hoping they go far. But it'll be interesting to see. I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm glad he played, MVP level this year. Personally, I want Aaron Rodgers to get the Super Bowl. I know I wouldn't mind obviously if Seattle went there.
Yeah.
I don't really want the Saints to make it. Other than that, Tampa Bay. Other than that, I don't really mind. But hey, should be fun to watch them in the playoffs. They're probably most likely gonna end up with the bye unless the Bears, kind of help you guys out, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Should be interesting to watch. I love watching them play though. The Jets beat the Browns. I just want to say that's crazy. Jets get their second win versus above 500 teams in 2 weeks, which in the end clinched the Jaguars the first pick in the draft, which is going to most likely be Trevor Lawrence. So that was interesting to see. I was super surprised that the Browns lost. I know the Browns were missing some of their wide receivers, but hey. And then Kamara had 6 touchdowns. I think we touched on that on the podcast because we did it, the last podcast last week because we did it, I think, on Friday during the game or after the game.
Yes.
Which was crazy. I believe that was a record. He either tied the record or broke it. Broke it, right?
He tied it.
Tied it. And then I want to talk about a game next week. Arizona versus the Rams. Now, Jared Goff is out due to a broken thumb, which he had surgery for. He could return to the playoffs. And Kyler Murray was questionable coming into the week, but he said he's going to play. Now, the situation here is for Arizona, if they win, they're in. So, but honestly, if Arizona wins, the Rams can still get into it if the Bears lose. So there's a lot of situations going on. What do you think is going to happen in that game?
I really think Arizona's going to win because I just don't think that a young quarterback with no experience can take his team to the playoffs. I just never seen it. And then you also have Cooper Kupp, one of your prime wide receivers, are out as well. And I just think the Rams just need to take this off season to think about what they need to improve on, and really get back to your Super Bowl form back in 2017.
Obviously, I know you're pulling for the Bears to beat the Packers, which would ultimately kick the Rams out of the playoffs as well. So hey, I also think Arizona's going to pull this one out due to the fact that Jared Goff's out mainly. But it's obviously going to be close. I think the Rams defense is going to keep them in this game.
Yeah.
I believe the Rams might start Blake Bortles, who does have some experience, but it's Blake Bortles. So I don't think he'll get the job done. And maybe it'll be like that Nick Foles story where he leads them to the Super Bowl. But most likely not. So I got Arizona in that one. I'm going to pick Arizona in that one when we do picks later.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I also read this. The 49ers believe that Jimmy G is going to be the quarterback next year. Do you think they should keep riding with Jimmy G, or do you think they should try and find a new quarterback?
I think they should try to find a new quarterback because honestly, like with Jimmy G, I get, people think he's amazing. I mean, he is amazing, but I think you need to go another route because, these last 2 years he has not really played at all. I mean, he hasn't played, since like Super Bowl. No, that was last year. Yeah, because his first year he tore his ACL. He didn't play his first year, and then this year he was out again. So I think you just need to find another decent quarterback or try to like trade him for like a draft pick or something. Try to get like an elite quarterback to lead your team to where you used to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm not sold on Jimmy G, and in my opinion, he's mediocre at best. So I would either if you can't find anybody better than Jimmy G, keep him. You don't really have any other options. Keep Jimmy G. But if you think you could go for Matt Stafford, if you think Mitch Trubisky is better than Jimmy G, go for him. Maybe even Marcus Mariota. I would love to see that as well. I love Marcus Mariota. But Jimmy G, with that offense, I know a lot of them were injured, but you should still be putting up better numbers. So we'll see how that turns out in the regular season, or the off season. But hey, they had what's it called? The NFC West curse hit them hard. So
yes.
All right. The NFL has decided to add a 17th game to 2021 season and continue it throughout there. We talked about a few shows back that they were talking about adding that. So I just wanted to bring that up and that they are indeed adding it next season. I'm not sure how they're going to decide what team plays who, but that should be awesome. And we'll get another game of football. So that's awesome. And now we're going to talk about some playoff scenarios. There's a lot. I believe there's 5, 10-5 teams in the AFC that could miss or make the playoffs. So could be devastating, could be great for some teams. But let's talk about the AFC first. The first one's the Ravens. If the Ravens win, they make the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. Or if the Colts lose, the Ravens are in the playoffs. Now the Browns, if the Browns win, they're in. Or if the Colts lose, the Browns are in as well. So same situation for both those teams. Or if the Colts win in the this is the Colts. Colts win. This is for the Colts to win the division. Colts win, Titans lose, they win the division. Or the Colts win and the Ravens, Browns, Miami, one of them loses. They're in the playoffs. Miami, if they win, they're in. Or if the Ravens, Browns, or Colts lose, they're in. Just one of those teams. And the last one in the AFC is the Titans. If the Titans win, they're in. Or if the Colts, Ravens, Miami, one of them loses. So basically, they're all similar situations. All these teams got to hope to win. What team do you think is going to fall out of that AFC spot?
Miami.
Ooh, how come?
So, I don't think you saw this, but Ryan Fitzpatrick will not be playing in the game on Sunday versus Buffalo.
Why?
He tested positive for coronavirus.
Ooh. You don't think Tua's going to get it done?
In Buffalo? That is one of the hardest places to play. I do not see him winning at Buffalo. I'm sorry, but I mean Buffalo might rest their players. Honestly,
that's what I'm saying.
They can stick at that 2 seed, but I do not think Tua can handle all that.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of pressure on him, but Buffalo may be resting their starters, so that could be a little beneficial for him. I personally would want to see the Colts fall out. Feidi told me to mention this. Phillip Rivers may be retiring soon, so it'd be cool to see him in the playoffs. But I don't really like watching Phillip Rivers, and I would love to see the Miami and the Browns and the Ravens and even the Titans in the playoffs over them. So sadly, I would want them to exit. Now for the NFC, we kind of talked about a couple of these teams. If the Cardinals win, they're in the playoffs. If the Bears win, they're in the playoffs. But the Bears play the Packers, so that would be a little hard because the Packers are trying to win that number 1 spot. Cowboys win. For the Cowboys to get in, they would have to win, and then Washington would have to lose. For the Rams would have to win, or if the Bears lose. Giants would have to win, and then a Washington loss. And then Washington would have to win. Just have to win to get in. If Washington loses, they're out of the playoffs. What do you think team is going to fall out?
I think I'm gonna say the Rams. That's kind of the most obvious one. Because I mean, the Bears might get it done. I don't know. I mean, the Bears have scored 30 points in the last 4 games. I wouldn't doubt them. I mean, and it's in Chicago as well, so they got that home field. But I really think it's gonna be the Rams because the Rams don't really have a chance to win, but the Bears do. So I kind of see them falling out and probably the Bears going in.
Okay. I would like to see Mitch Trubisky in the playoffs. I personally like Mitch Trubisky, but he hasn't been playing great. He's been playing good since Foles got hurt, and he's led him to this situation. But if the Rams get Jared Goff, they could honestly contend. If they get him back and they're playing well, because their defense is really good and their offense has potential to be really, really, really good too. So hopefully the Giants and the Cowboys fall out. And I'm gonna say I hope the Rams fall out too. All right, let's make some picks, bro. Let's make some picks. I'm gonna share the screen. I got it pulled up. Can you see him, my man?
Yes, I can. Wait, this week 17, correct?
Yes, sir. Last week, bro. Then we got playoffs. All right. Where's my pen? Got it. You ready, my man?
Give me 1 second. Let me get it on my phone right quick.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, first one, Bills Dolphins, just what you're talking about.
I'm gonna go Buffalo Bills.
This one's tough. Like, I don't know if Buffalo is resting their starters. Like, I want to pick Miami, but like, I don't know if the Bills are resting their starters. Hold on, I want to check the NFL app because they might. Usually it says if they're resting or not. Or who's out. Fuck, this one's tough. This one's real tough. Where is it? What game is it? Miami.
At Buffalo.
The Bills, like, there's nothing happens if they lose, right?
I think. Wait. Go to the standings and see what the record is. The Bills and the Steelers.
Steelers are 11 and the Steelers are 12-3 too.
No, so they're not gonna rest their starters. No.
Fuck. I want Miami to win, but I gotta take Bills because I think the Bills are a better team.
Yeah.
If Buffalo comes out and rests their starters, but think about it, the Steelers are resting their starters too. Big Ben's not playing.
I don't know why though.
I'm taking Miami. I'm taking Miami.
Okay.
I'm taking Miami.
Yeah,
Baltimore, Cincy. Baltimore. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland. Or at least Big Ben's not playing.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph, bro. Myles Garrett coming after that meat, bro.
Vikings, Lions.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
So am I. New York Jets and New England.
I went with New England.
I'm gonna go New England too. I don't think Belichick wants to lose to the Jets. So Cowboys, Giants.
I went with Dallas.
I'm gonna go Dallas too. Dallas's defense is playing way better recently. Yeah. Atlanta, Tampa Bay. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay, Tom Brady.
Facts. I'm going to.
Packers, Bears.
I picked the Bears.
I'm gonna pick the Packers.
I pick Chicago.
Although I wouldn't be too opposed to the Bears winning there. Raiders, Broncos. I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
I did too.
Jags, Colts,
Colts.
Kansas City, LA, but Kansas City's
I went
resting
LA.
all their starters. So I'm gonna go LAC too. Arizona, Rams. I know we both already kind of gave our prediction for this. So Arizona. Seattle Niners. I know where you're going, and I'm going with you. Seattle.
Yes.
And then Saints, Panthers.
I went with Carolina.
Ooh. I mean, I gotta go Saints. Because they're gonna try and win. Titans, Texans. Titans need to win. So I'm gonna pick Titans. And then Washington, Philly, big game, biggest game of the year. I'm gonna pick Washington. You picking Washington?
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll do for the picks. Now let's go look at some of these fantasy teams, bro. I don't know why I picked on this. If you didn't know, me and Fi were playing championships in both leagues, so let's check how those went. Well, they're 2 weeks, but they honestly should be one. But let's just check how that went. This one's the first one, like the major one. As you see right here, my team looked pretty good right out the gate. Fi's team did I?
Terrible.
James Robinson was unfortunately out for me. Let me go to box score. Oh, how do I go to? Oh, I got it right here. Right here. I mean, your team didn't play bad, bro. Just I had Diggs had 41. That's really it, honestly. Diggs is really just took me over the top. Obviously AJ Brown kind of didn't do as good. Tyreek Hill didn't do as good. Okay, never mind. My bad. Your team. Aaron Jones. And then I had Kelsey do good. Deontay Johnson. Carson did okay. Nothing too crazy. But this isn't the only league, bro. You got me in the other one.
Too.
You pulled out in the other one, bro. I was looking like you're gonna pull out. No homo. If I could get it pulled up. Yes, as you can see, I'm down 18. Luckily, Mahomes isn't playing, but I mean, you still got Kirk Cousins going in there.
Yeah, I switched it out yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Melvin Gordon really pooped the bed for me. Jeff Wilson kind of made up for it, though. Tyreek Hill also pooped the bed for me. Deontay Johnson could have did good. Brandon Ayuk did bad. Cardinals defense. Kicker did okay. And wow, David Johnson really put work for you and put work.
Yeah.
And then, the rest of your team played solid, kind of put up the numbers they were supposed to.
Yeah.
So I can't be too mad. Mahomes, if anything, didn't. Actually, he put up 19. But, and then your defense, wow. That was a smart start versus Washington. So one more week. I know I should have made it just to week 16, but I'm gonna do that next year. But yeah, good week. I didn't read the standings for the what's it called? The picks, but I'll have them up on the screen when that video happens because I'm gonna edit that. That's what I usually do. So, hey man, I think we got through that. Got through it pretty quick too. Anything else you want to bring up? No,
that's it, man. We covered most of everything.
Yes, sir. Today is New Year's Eve. This will be coming out on the on the 1st, actually. So, if you got any New Year's resolution, man?
I do, man. I wanna get on diet and kind of get fit for the new year, man. I hope the Seahawks make Super Bowl, and
yes,
hope this pandemic is over. And that's kind of my main one.
Yes, sir. Mine's similar. Got to get back on the diet. Keep hooping. Hopefully Washington will make the playoffs. Hopefully everything gets okay with the pandemic. Kind of what you said. I kind of just restated everything you just said, but it should be interesting. Hopefully this year's better. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys had a great year. Hopefully you guys have an awesome New Year's. Spend it with your family, spend it with your friends. If you socially distance, of course. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I believe this was the 15th one. And yeah, as always, I'm Logan Cross.
I'm Fire Troy.
Thanks for watching, y'all.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.